We're coming to you live with the SalesMade Live Smarter Growth podcast. And today we're talking about commandment number 5.
And commandment number 5 is, pleasure to be here, Max, first. And once again, before we talk about commandment number 5, this has been a lot of fun.
Yes.
And tremendous learning opportunity. And today, I hope that's again the case for you guys out there. So commandment number 5 is about being useful first.
Yes, sir. And in that context, thanks for being here again and again and again for 10 episodes. And everybody in front of the screens, please let us know if you find this helpful. If you like these episodes, leave us a like, follow us, and leave your questions below in the comments. And welcome back. We're talking about commandment number 5, so we're halfway through. If you watch all 10 commandments, you are eligible for the SalesMade Tribe shirt. It's something you cannot buy. It's something you earn. And Patrick and I are doing everything we can to make these 10 episodes worthwhile. And we want you to take a lot of value out of these episodes for yourself. So I'm looking forward to this one. This is going to be a little shorter, Patrick, right?
Yeah, let's make it crispy and short. You know, people time, like, let's say 30 minutes. I think when we started with we wanted to make it 10 minutes, but then we didn't manage because there is quite a lot to talk still, and to that, you know, everybody can understand in the context and take out some actionable stuff. I think it's sometimes valuable to say a little bit, go into details. And we might as well go today, but 30 minutes, that's the goal. So if you listen to that, you can listen at 1.5 pace, right? And then it's 20 minutes. No, so let's dig in, right?
We don't know how long it will take, actually. Again, after the 10 episodes, grab your t-shirt. And you can, if you're not watching this on Facebook, you likely are. We are also going live here on YouTube. Follow our Facebook page. And with that said, let's jump right in. We talked about this when we prepared for this episode, Patrick.
Yeah.
And we said, like, almost every technology organization is discounting the value they bring to the customer. Not only that, they are also selling at a price that is typically too low. And there is one piece of the whole customer journey, of the whole interaction they have, one piece they especially discount. Why is that? And what is that piece?
What's that piece? That piece is the sales process, actually. I've never seen an organization who thinks like their sales process is an asset for their company, right? Like an asset, which means that it's something that's also providing value, not only to buying the product or the technology you sell is the value, but also the whole sales process. And we think that also the sales process is tremendous value, if done right, obviously, but it's tremendous value for the potential customer, right?
And there's a reason why, and we'll talk about that today. You will learn exactly why we think there's a lot of value. And so this episode is also a torch in the darkness, right? For the tremendous, incredible value these fabulous girls and guys provide out there for their customers without even knowing it. So you had a quote, an interesting quote we talked about also. You said that there's this old saying that one of our jobs in sales is not to sell them, right?
But to help them buy.
To help them buy. What do you mean by that?
Well, we all know these salespeople, right, who go out there and say, I catch this shark, like catch the shark, probably, like the customers, label the customer as something negative and saying like it's something you have to catch, it's something you you have to fight for and run after and whatnot. So that's basically, for me, that's the selling. If you sell, that's a little bit the actions that for me shows this mentality selling. And the other part of the mentality is to help them buy. So you are basically not like kind of an assistant, or you make proposals for your customer. What next steps are the best? You make proposals, what needs to be done next. You help the customer with all the steps in the sales process, and you show them exactly what the most efficient way is to sell something. I think, because what is underestimated, and I think buyers get that wrong sometimes in the sales. So they wanna guide salespeople with what they think should be the next step sometimes. So we have all seen this, right? At the end of let's say a first call, they say, okay, we internally think about that and we get back to you. Everybody knows the situation in sales, right? Everybody, because and that's a buyer telling a salesperson what they think is the best next step. Talk about it internally and then get back to you. So something that I discovered here is of tremendous value. Even somebody does that. You with one small thing, you can say something like, "Dear customer," before he says that, you say, "Dear customer, can I make a proposal on how to proceed next?" Right? And then what does the customer say? Of course. Because everybody likes that. Everybody likes not to need to think about it. So the customer says, yeah, of course you can make a proposal. And then the only thing you need to know is the sales process. Obviously, you need to know the steps of the sales process. What's the most efficient way to get it through, to get to help the customer to get through. And so you just tell that's the next steps, and that's what we're going to do. And it works amazingly, I think. So that's what I think, what I mean by, what we mean by help them buy, right?
Yeah, and I think, I think it's a great quote. To me, it seems to be a few years back, right? And if I look at it today, I would say that we can take this even further, right? I mean, we even do not believe it's true anymore. We're not helping them buy, because that implies the action of buying, right? That implies the action of making a positive decision for whatever we offer. And sometimes salespeople do not even think about the customer. They don't even think about what the customer would need or how the solution, whatever they have, right, is going to help them. And we think that the actual job is, and we're actually heavily influenced, right, by a few very bright people here. The actual job is to get the customer to make the best possible decision they can.
Yes.
And that is very, very, it's a dramatic difference, because it goes into two directions. It tells yourself as a salesperson that you should be open for a no. That is number one, right?
That's a really important point. A really tough mind game anyway at the beginning. Because when you start, you're like, I have to close the sale, but no. You have to have in mind that there's, for the customer, other possible solutions. That's what I completely agree here. That's really important, to be able to accept and know and help the customer find maybe another solution.
Yes, and we talked about that also when we talked about like Sun Tzu and what has the art of war to do with being brilliant in selling. So, and here's also what we think, that we said this is going to be a torch, right, in the darkness for the incredible value people provide in their sales process. And that is, there's two types of wrong decisions people can make. And we learned that when we worked together in the past, right, there were people were buying into technology that would actually be very helpful for them, but nobody explained it to them, right? So they were buying into the technology, then not using it, or not using it the way it should be used. And then after a year or two, they were disappointed. And now the customer is disappointed. What can the vendor say? It's not the right time to educate the customer about using the product, because everything you say will seem like self-defense. Is that true?
Fully true.
So keeping the customer from making an early decision for your offer is tremendously invaluable, because it allows the customer and you, your sales team, to figure out a way how the customer can get the value out of the product, out of the solution, whatever it is. So that is one way I think about this in terms of maybe having to be more patient, right? Having to be able to wait for the result a little bit. And then the other wrong decision customers can make is, and I think that's my perspective, and please guys in front of the screens, challenge this. Tell us what you think about this. And saying no to a technology that would actually be the right choice is more expensive than saying yes to the wrong technology. Right? So in this today's day and age where everything is going into technology, we're all digitizing, we're all going to the cloud and whatnot, right? And we're all experiencing lockdowns and financial disasters and crises on the planet and pandemics and whatnot, right? So there's a lot going on. The world is changing. Now, you decide to not go with a technology that would actually have prepared you for teamwork in the home office, or you end up being less prepared than you actually could. That's going to be expensive. It's going to cost you months. And not only is it going to cost you months, there's other things going on, Patrick, right?
Yeah.
Why are wrong decisions so bad?
It's going to cost you not only months, it's going to cost you the trust of your customers. It's going to cost you the trust of your customers talk to, so potential other customers. And I think maybe depends a little bit on how big your market is and in what niche you went. But let's take one thing from our episodes before. If you're in a niche and you mess up with like 2 or 3 customers, I think you probably can mess up pretty quickly with the whole market. And if you build a great piece of technology, that would be a pity, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So I think one of the things we were also talking about in this context is a great quote from Zig Ziglar, which says, "You will get all you want in life if you help enough other people get what they want." I think that's an amazing quote.
Yeah. Yes. So and it's interesting, right? I mean, isn't this idea? I mean, isn't that like the opposite of what classical sales is saying?
It is. It is.
How come can it be true?
We all know one. Well, we know the one basic psychological principle, right? That's reciprocity. That is really important in this part. So whatever you do to others, you get at some point you get it back. If it's bad what you do to others, you get bad stuff back. If it's good, if it's great what you do to others, you get good stuff back. And whatever you sow, you can harvest at some point. No, that's a different one. But yeah, reciprocity is something that sits very deeply in ourselves, I think, and most people really act or react on this action and reaction. The other one, so it's extremely worth to try to help other people. And what we mean by helping other people is you try to sell something to a company, you have your champion probably most of the time, right? You have one person on the other side who has the most benefit if the technology you have is going to be successful in that company you want to sell it to, right? So you can help that person. I had a manager who was always thinking in a way that I want to make these people who buy that technology, I want them to have the next get one. I don't have the word right now. What's the promotion exactly? So I want them to get the next promotion because our technology is going to be so successful with them. They're going to have a next promotion. I think that's the way you need to think. So find out how that person can get actually that promotion. What do you need to achieve? What are the goals for the year? And if they achieve the goals for the year, that you help them to get the next promotion, maybe with your technology thinking.
Yes, absolutely. And yeah. So in terms of also the value or the cost of making the wrong decision, that's interesting, right? How we as a technology vendor in today's day and age, we have to rely on people liking and loving us in 2 years. It's no longer that you make the sale today and probably by providing misinformation, like these old sales cliches, that's no longer going to be helpful, right? If you sell people, you also have to deliver the value. If you don't do that, you cannot win. There's no way. I almost used an F word, which we should do more often in our daily speech, except for podcast hosts, right? So I think it is mandatory to be concerned with the value people are getting and how they are getting it, and also to take responsibility, right? So, and in terms of that Zig Ziglar quote, if we help enough people get what they want in organizations, it will be easy for us to get what we want, because people love to pay. Customers love to pay. Customers love to buy stuff as long as as soon as they are convinced it's going to be helpful, right?
Yes.
And I also found this interesting, what you said, like we're basically turning sales upside down in order for our organization to survive, right?
Yes, exactly.
And I heard this the other day, and I think it's a very interesting perspective to look at. We are no longer in the age of asymmetric information, like where the sales guy was required in order to bring information to the customer. That's no longer true. Today, you can ask almost any sales guy on the planet or sales girl in every organization. They meet customers who know more about their product than they know themselves. Wow, right?
Yeah, that's going to be we're going to deep dive into that in our 7th commandment, right? That's
true.
That's another, it's going to be, we're going to dig in that a little bit deeper later.
Yes.
So what we are saying first, I mean, what needs to be clear is for the salespeople, they need to have this well-established sales cycle that, that's the sales cycle that is the most efficient to buy for the customers. And in that sales cycle, what needs to be covered is you need to think about, first, before building the sales cycle, you need to think about what situation needs the customer be in, what is the situation of the customer needed to have most success with our product with him. So you need to think about the questions you need to ask the customer. You need to think about the steps to take through the sales cycle with the customer. And when you have this, it's about guiding the customer through that perfect sales cycle that you crafted. And in the end, the goal would be right before they sign the contract or right after they sign the contract, that they say something like, hey, I mean, one most important reason that we bought your product was because your guidance through that sales cycle was by far the best compared to your competitors, and it becomes a competitive advantage that you know exactly what steps you take through the sales cycle. You know exactly what questions you need to ask. You know exactly what you need to hear from the customer so that you can have, or that they can get out the best or the biggest value out of your product when they start.
Yes, absolutely. And this is something that, I mean, we coined this earlier, I think, and it's also something that could go on a poster somewhere, right? It's true. That means that we're being honest and curious and patient will actually help us gain the trust of these people trying to buy from us and making the right decision, right?
Yeah.
And trust will give us the speed. So by being patient, you're actually becoming faster. You can close more customers, help more people. And one of the most important maxims that we also found is we're talking about the 5 consequences here, right? And one of them is that you need to make every investment return fast. So if the customer gives you trust, they give you their time or token, right? Any form of currency, US dollars, euro, whatever it is, you have to make sure these things return to them fast, because that's the ultimate trust builder, right? They give you half an hour. You prove to be a brilliant listener. We'll talk about that in the next episode. And they understand that their investments are falling onto fruitful grounds with you guys, right? So and then they want to give you more. It's like throwing a euro into a slot machine and 2 euros come out. What you want to do next?
Yes.
Right? You throw the 2 euros back in and hope it's going to be 4. And that the same is true if we create trust with customers. One of our 5 consequences here is, and like you said, you have the reciprocity. You give something of value, they want to give something back.
I have a great example to this.
Yeah, sure.
It happened this like 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago. We did a pilot with now our biggest customer in Germany from July till September.
Yeah.
And first we did that pilot. It was successful. They said, yeah, we want to continue. And like 3 days after they said we want to continue, he called me, the champion there. He called me and said, Patrick, I have really bad news. Because of Corona, we couldn't travel. We couldn't spend our money on traveling. So that's the bad news for me. But it's actually good news, because we have like 100,000 that we can spend for something that that we know is of value, and we think we want to spend it with you guys because you showed us in that pilot that it works, well, that you can provide us with tremendous value. So what do we want to do with that money? And we could make a proposal, basically, what to do with that amount. And that happens every single day. Every depends on how big you're going to be, but that happens. You get recommendations. Your customer buy more and more the slot machine. I like the slot machine anecdote, actually. Yes. So only good things will come if you follow that quote from Zig Ziglar.
Absolutely, yeah, I totally agree. And so let's recall. We said it's 5 things, right? First, we said you said understand the buying center, understand that there's individual goals, right? And also understand that the organization behind those people has goals. So as a sales engineer, if you will, a decision-making help engineer, one of the goals is to understand where these things match and how you can how you can provide the value there. Then we said that you want to return every investment. That means you make the first call a great investment, the time they give you. And that is sometimes as easy as bringing the joy, bringing the energy, right? Bringing the fun into the call. So they learn that if you bring the power, that gives them a good feeling, that gives them, they know you care, right? Then reciprocity, actually number 3, we give something of value without expecting a return. They will want to give something back. And whenever they give something to us, we want to return. We want to give them the return on trust, the return on time, the return on investment. And that actually means that if we make it easy to buy from us, we're also making it easy to recommend us, right? I mean, who wouldn't want, if it's a great experience, who wouldn't want it to give it to their best friend, right? If they are also, I don't know, whoever you're selling to, if they are also a head of experience management, chunk and trash cutter in your ideal target organization, or a CIO or whatever, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and that turns into a growth hack. right? And by the way, are you busy with growth hacking, Patrick?
All day.
All day. What's your understanding of that discipline?
Good question. For me, it's everything, every initiative, anything like marketing, sales, whatever. Also technology, like certain features in the technology that maybe you can recommend a friend with just a button, and somebody else can get in. So everything that helps that helps you, the company, to gain new users, new buyers, new customers, whatever. Any initiative that comes in that way. That's what I understood. But my focus on growth hacking is I don't focus on the technology. I focus mostly on get out there, direct sales, talk to people, kind of thing. You focus more on you focus on that too. And in addition, I think you focus also on the marketing side, right?
Yeah, that's true. And again, I mean, that's very interesting. Some of the things that are important for growth, and we talked about that in the last episode too, are so foundational, right? It's most of the time it's the way you think about stuff. And here, I mean, if it's easy, if we can make it easy for people to recommend us, all of a sudden now I'm turning 4 customers into 6 customers, and 6 customers into 9 customers, and so forth. And now I have a growth loop, right? Everybody's looking to get a growth loop, right? A recommendation feature in their Dropbox software or something.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's easier. You can make it easy for you and for the customer. And that is also, I think, that is the beauty of this episode, because all the tactics, all the tools, all the rules that we talked about today, right? You can actually forget all about that and just go back to the start, where we found out commandment number 5, be useful. Right?
Something else for the end, my last word. Also, don't forget to have fun, right? Be useful and have fun, and make a joke with the customer. Make that sales cycle, make that sales process not only valuable for the customer but also fun, right? And valuable sometimes is fun, but some people like to do jokes and stuff like this. So it
should be fun all of the time, right? All of the time. And there's no reason why not, actually. I have the most brilliant laughs with people I met 3 minutes ago. That's absolutely possible. And I think that as human beings, we are made that way, especially right now. I mean, we're all lacking social contact and everything. If you talk to somebody who brings a good energy and a joke or two, come on, I mean, that's fun. Right? Yeah. Cool. So whatever you guys design at the core of your sales process, at the core of your business, at the core of your product, make sure it's useful, because that will be so rewarding. It's incredible. It's something you got to experience, actually, if you didn't do that yet, right? Put that at the core of everything you do. Yes. So, Patrick, final words after the final words?
One final word for guys and girls who are new into sales, and they don't really know sales process. Well, how do I do that? Go to your sales manager, ask them, where is my sales process? What do I have to do? What is each step? Very often companies are not putting too much or enough time into figuring out what the perfect sales process should be. So look out for this. If you start somewhere new, if you want to become the best sales at your company, build one yourself if they don't have one. But if you're new, ask your manager, and you should get out a sales process, or ask us. Get in touch with us, and we can help you with the sales process as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And we love to, right?
Yeah.
So that's it today from our SalesMade Live Smarter Growth podcast. Put your questions below here. We are here to answer. That's real. We are true about everything we say, and we try to be useful too. So, and thanks for tuning in today. Also, send us a direct message if you want some feedback. What are some of your key learnings? If you are evolving, if you're trying to reshape stuff, if you're building stuff and you want us to comment or give you a few insights, let us know what are the key learnings for you, what do they mean for your professional work, and what else would you like to understand better, because there are episodes left. We can fill in with valuable content, hopefully after the 10 Commandments. Patrick.
And I look forward.
Gracias.
Thank you. Thank you. I look forward to those episodes, and I hope this was valuable and you're going to come back.
I will, certainly. Pleasure with you. As always, this is Patrick and Marcus from the SalesMade Live Studio. Guys, take care.
Take care.
Good hunting this week. Talk soon.
Talk soon.